In this video, I will talk about the various programs there are in Canada to obtain your Bachelors of Science in Nursing. These are definitely not going to be all of them, but these are some of the most common. So let's get on with today's video. In this channel, I talk about all aspects of nursing. If you want to learn more about nursing, consider subscribing as I upload a new video every week. Also, be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you found it useful, as it helps others see the video as well. Alright, so let's talk about the various ways of becoming a registered nurse. There are programs that you can apply to straight from high school, or there are programs that require a few credits of university before applying to their program. In general, the programs of becoming a registered nurse require you to do 4 years of undergraduate school total. These will include clinical hours as well as courses in nursing ranging from various topics. In nursing school, the clinical hours will predominantly be spent at various hospitals throughout your city. The rotations that you will complete will typically be a medical or surgical floor rotation, a maternity rotation, a pediatric rotation, mental health rotation, community health rotation, and a public health rotation. And then on the last term, people typically choose the area where they want to work in. This is typically the process for obtaining your clinical hours. You get placed in a group of 5 to 10 and are put in different sites that offer different rotations. Some schools provide more clinical hours than others, but in general, those are the most common ones. Also, these clinical hours are courses, and you often are required to do many assignments and tasks for them to pass. Oh, and they also expect you to be able to get to these various sites yourself. Alongside clinical hours, you have to obviously take the courses as well. The courses you take will correlate to the clinical rotation that is set in order to provide more insightful learning. These courses can be quite intense in nature, especially if you're doing a day of clinical hour every other day. This makes nursing one of the most challenging bachelors, as it is incredibly time consuming. With that being said, let's talk about the various requirements for nursing school programs. Now, obviously, these may change as the school chooses. So make sure that you double check every year that they haven't added or removed a program in the school you're applying to. In general, nursing program requirements, if you're taking them straight out of high school, requires you to have a high level of English, Chemistry 11, Biology 12, and Math 12. Alongside taking these courses, the programs that go straight into nursing school are quite competitive, so you need to have high grades as well as be able to have a great application. To do this, being involved in extracurricular activities such as sports, music, or a club that you're passionate about related to health would be some great ideas. An even better idea would be to find an area of nursing that you would like to pursue and try and be a part of organization that would provide clinical or health related experience. I highly recommend working as a receptionist in a medical clinic, for instance, as it will look good on your resume and provide more clinical environment experiences. The other option is to have credits in university prior to applying to nursing programs. This depends on the program in which you're applying to, but they generally require you to have a university level English, human anatomy and physiology, and some other related credits such as first year chemistry and sometimes psychology. Essentially, you need to take 2 years full-time of university credits alongside the prerequisites, which are English, human anatomy and physiology, and chemistry. Another route that people often take is through a bridge program. This is an extremely beneficial and affordable way of you being able to work your way up through an institution. For instance, you can do a 12-month licensed practical nurse or care aide program, and the hospital itself can sponsor you later on to become a registered nurse. This often requires many hours of working in that same institution as a licensed practical nurse or a care aide before they will sponsor you. This is not very common, but I have heard stories where people have worked with and got sponsored by the hospital to further their education. The only downside was committing to working there for a few years post-graduation. After graduation, it is required for you to write and pass the NCLEX exam. This is a challenging exam that every nurse has to write in order to work as an RN. Often there are states and provinces that allow for you to work for about a year with a temporary license before requiring you to have the NCLEX passed and done with before being able to work. Here are a list of different schools and programs in Canada. They'll be also in the description box down below, but here's a few in each province. Another thing that is worth mentioning is that most schools offer accelerated programs, which essentially means if you have a bachelor's already in a different profession or have credits in university, you can finish the nursing program quicker. So that's also something you want to keep in mind. In British Columbia, here are 3 different schools offering nursing programs. University of British Columbia, which has the Vancouver and Okanogan campus. Vancouver one is university only, and Okanogan will take you straight out of high school. VIU offers both a high school and university program. BCIT, which offers both as well. For Alberta, the 2 nursing schools are University of Alberta and University of Calgary, which both have high school and university programs. For Manitoba, here are 2 schools offering nursing programs. University of Manitoba and Brandon University. And again, both of them offer high school and university programs. For Saskatchewan, here are 2 schools that offer nursing programs, University of Saskatchewan and University of Regina. And finally, here are 2 schools offering nursing programs in Ontario, Brock University and Lakehead University. As for which school I think is the best to finish your nursing program, I think the best program is the one that you pay the least amount for and has the most amount of clinical hours. Nursing is so diverse, and you just want to finish school so that you can start working. That is where you will learn most of what you actually need to know. Anyways guys, that's the end of this video. If you thought it was useful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.